I'm standing in the desert, the dry earth beneath me. A few delicate plants and grasses sway at my feet. In the distance, I hear a rumble. I can't quite see what's ahead. But the rumble starts to swell. And that is when I see them. Horses. Hundreds of them. As they draw closer, the grasses start to bend under their hooves. They're powerful, unstoppable. And as a mountain of dust rises before the herd, it blocks them out of my sight. There's a strange stillness that just shivers over me. And in the silence, I hear a voice.
This land is mine now. You cannot outrun me.
Then the dust clears and they gore through. These wild horses just tower over me, destroying everything in their path. And if I don't move, I'm going to be next. Unless I outrun them. I wake up in an ambulance, covered in blood. Why am I here? Why does my body feel ravaged and trampled? Something feral has been unleashed inside of me. Something unbridled. It's like I'm caught up in a stampede of wild horses. Yes, horses. Violent and shredding through my flesh. Untamable. That feeling stays with me like that desert haze. I cannot let them overtake me again. I need to outrun them. I'm gonna keep running. I gotta gain time when I can. This is my final shot. I hear some horses. I do not want to get run over. So I don't know if I stand a chance to beat a horse. Oh my God. Oh my God. Face to face with death, I set off on a 5-year journey that would take me to the outer limits of human endurance. To wrangle the animals inside of me, to settle the battle between mind and body, girl and horse. And to answer a question that has been echoing inside of me for so long. Can I outrun a horse? I'm Nicole Teeny, and this is Girl v. Horse. Episode 1, I Want to Race a Horse. I've always been an active person. I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, in a big Lebanese-American family with lots of cousins. Cousins who I'd co-op into all sorts of adventures. I was always moving.
You had a lot of energy.
You probably didn't pay attention to where your feet were going all the time. You were going in one direction, your feet were going in another direction sometimes.
That's my dad, Steve, and my mom, Lynette. Okay, so I was clumsy. My knees kissed every sharp corner. I was tiny, gangly. So much so that instead of calling me by my first name, Nicole, all the kids at school decided that my last name, Teeny, was a better fit. Teeny. It stuck. I wanted to prove I wasn't as puny as I looked, so I tried out for every single sports team. And failed. Miserably.
Didn't take us long to figure out that you would do better at maybe a running sport.
Unlike volleyball or soccer, running didn't require hand-eye coordination. I loved it.
You were like a rock star, but you did fine.
I thought you were average. I don't remember winning or not winning anything.
Parents, they keep you humble. Okay, so I wasn't a track prodigy, but I wasn't last of the pack either. And for me, that was saying something. I felt strong. My stringy, squiggly muscles and bones were growing. Each run, I pushed myself to go harder, faster, longer. And by the end of middle school, I was already fantasizing about the day I'd run my first marathon. When I turned 18, I moved to New York with dreams of becoming a filmmaker. I was often too cheap to pay for the subway fare, so I literally ran my errands. In my mom's words,
Your shoes are your tires.
coming home from work or just grabbing some bananas, I bet I clocked every single street in Manhattan and at least half of Brooklyn. In the chaos of the city, running grounded me. It was the one thing that could get my mind in sync with my body. Going for a run was like getting a Star Trek body scan. I could tell how well I slept, the lingering effects of a beer I drank 3 days ago, or that I was just a few days away from my period. As I ran, my lungs tingled, heart surged, and my heightened senses reminded me that I was alive. No matter what was going on in my life, running put my body in poetry with my mind. My mind opened to the horizon, rooted into the ground, and lifted like a balloon. With every step, I'm pulled into pavement, cool wind, passing smells, escaping bright screens, long lists and mental cloud, propelled into movement, senses, and sweaty brow, washing out should-haves, faux pas, party fouls. Together, my mind, my body, I'm living, I'm teeming. I am now. I cover the earth in minutes, seconds, breaths, breaths, breaths. When I ran, I found myself thinking a lot about the connection between the mind and the body, something that also intrigued the French philosopher René Descartes. Descartes thought that we were made up of two separate entities: the body, tangible and physical, and then this separate sovereign substance known as the mind. As I propelled myself forward, I could feel Descartes' twin forces at work within me. My mind would say push, and my body would be forced to follow. I believe my mind was the melody, and my body was the harmony. In 2015, I was in my late 20s going through a tough breakup. So I started running farther.
Athletes, are you ready? Athletes, on your mark.
I ran a half marathon and got 11th in my division. I was hooked.
CHRC, you want a piece of royalty? Come get it. Come get it. Crown Race.
I joined my roommate's running club, signed up for a marathon just a few months later, and I laced up my sneakers. I crossed the finish line in the top 10, under 4 hours. Your girl was on top of the world. I felt so in tune with my body. I needed to run more. So I opened my laptop and started signing up for races. Over the next few years, I spent all my time running. I spoke about my run club for an article in Women's Running magazine. I even started reading books about running, including this one book that everyone was talking about.
Born to Run, the best-selling running book of all time.
Born to Run fueled the barefoot running craze.
Born to Run absolutely transformed the running community.
Born to Run. It is arguably one of the most popular running books of all time. And yeah, the book sparked the trend for those weird toe shoes. But what caught my attention was this one chapter of the book. It talks about a scientific theory by paleoanthropologist Dr. Daniel Lieberman. It's called the endurance running hypothesis. His theory suggests that the world's best runners aren't cheetahs, antelope, or other quadrupeds. It's humans. But I think that can't be right. Didn't I watch a human try and fail to outrun a zebra on that reality TV show from the 2000s, Man vs. Beast?
John Crawford has a great start, but here comes the zebra, and the zebra is in the lead.
In one episode, American Olympic gold medalist Shawn Crawford loses a 100-meter race to Zippity, a zebra.
I got my tail kicked by Zippity. It was fair and square. What can I say? I got beat by a zebra.
Zippity punctuates his win with a little buck kick at the end. Shawn couldn't beat a zebra or most other quadrupeds in a sprint. But it turns out Born to Run wasn't talking about short distances. It was talking about long distances. It states that when the distances are long enough, humans can outrun almost any animal. And it particularly points out one animal, a horse. When I read that, I was shocked. And honestly, I couldn't believe it. A human could outrun a horse? Really? I filed it away as a wild bucket list item because I've already signed up for my next big challenge, my second marathon, the 2018 New York City Marathon. It would be a tougher course, but that was okay. I thrived on the challenge. Until the horses ruined everything. It was on a Monday, just a few months before the marathon, when it happened. I was on vacation with my mom in California.
It was late morning. We went to a couple of thrift stores, and then we came back to the house, and I believe that we were sitting there on the couch, and then
a wave of exhaustion rushes over me. It's tiredness like anything I've ever felt before. Okay, I haven't been sleeping well. I've been running a lot. Could that be it? The work has been so stressful. I'm just so tired. The glass coffee table is in front of me, and I reach behind the couch, and
you just toppled over head first, and barely, amazingly, you exactly fell down right in the middle of it. Like, wow, you missed that table. I'm thinking, what's going on? Why are you doing that? And then I saw your body start jerking. And then I tried to roll you over a little bit. Your eyes were straight ahead and no response. You weren't responding to your name and you were jerking. You were having a seizure in front of me.
I'm unconscious. The seizure rushes through my body like a stampede.
You cannot outrun me.
Blood. That's the first thing I remember when I wake up. I'm covered in it. It's sliding down my mouth and drenching my shirt. My consciousness flickers back in snapshots. Two strange men are hovering above me in the ambulance. Where am I? Who's that? I see Mom, but she disappears then behind closing doors. My memory cuts. The next time I wake up, I'm in the emergency room. The doctor tells me it was a seizure. He explains that all my muscles clenched and my jaw locked, trapping my squishy tongue. That explains all the blood. With my brain unable to tell my body to gag or even breathe, I nearly drowned in my own blood. I'm a little bewildered. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. The doc doesn't know why I had the seizure. No one does. He discharges me with a directive to see a neurologist.
My name is Amy Youngling, and I am your neurologist.
When I meet Dr. Youngling, the first thing I notice about her are her colorful, chunky high heels poking out of her lab coat. Psychedelic shoes. How could I not trust her? She starts by explaining to me that seizures start with the brain. She says our brains are constantly running multiple network patterns at a time. with all the different areas working together in synchrony. In musical terms, it's kind of like an orchestra.
There are multiple instruments playing different parts. The strings might be like your vision, like your visual processes. And the trumpets might be your auditory or hearing processes. And the reed section might be your judgment or decision-making. All of these things are functions of the brain that are all happening at the same time, and yet all sort of coming together in a harmony, in a pattern that's recognizable as something that's beautiful. That's the brain does that, but like to the billionth factor.
But if something interrupts the orchestra, you start to lose that beauty really quick.
So a seizure would be like one trumpet in the brass section just decides to play one note over and over and over again, and the brain is like, all right, the whole section, you're out. And they're just like disrupting everybody else. It's a little bit of ugliness imposed on all the rest of this beauty, and the brain works pretty hard to shut it down as quickly as possible.
The brain tries to get the music back in sync. Sometimes it's only one area.
Somebody with a focal seizure, yeah, maybe it's just a few of the brass players.
You might just space out, see a weird visual, or feel like you're having an out-of-body experience. But other times...
Someone who's had a grand mal convulsion, really the whole brain is affected.
And if you've ever seen a seizure on TV, my seizure probably looked like what you're picturing. Shaking on the ground, foaming at the mouth. You get the idea.
It's possible that this seizure is a one-off. We don't know what caused it. We don't know if it's going to happen again.
So Dr. Youngling wants to see if my seizure has any obvious cause. She orders up a battery of tests, including a rendezvous in the hospital for a 2-day EEG. I'm hesitant. Is this really necessary? But she insists.
Any metal implants inside your body?
No.
Have you had MRIs before?
The hospital tech hooks me up to the EEG. Wires and tubes chain me to the hospital bed. Well, there goes 2 perfectly good days of marathon training. She slaps clear goo on the back of one of many electrodes and then finds a spot and fixes it right there in the middle of my head. It feels like dogs licking my scalp. And there's 26 of them. She reaches deep in my shirt and then puts 2 electrodes on my chest.
Take me to dinner first.
Sorry. Sorry. One more time.
So, is it possible that I just happen to have gotten a seizure?
Anybody can have a seizure. That's why you're here. Hopefully you'll never have another one.
Yeah.
See? Anyone could have a seizure, right? I'm going to be fine. I have to be. Dr. Youngling tells me that she looked at my EEG results and that they were a little abnormal but not conclusive.
We are going to have to see what happens.
See? It's not a big deal.
It may be epilepsy, but it's not definitely epilepsy.
Epilepsy? It catches me off guard. That was even on the table? But she tells me that if I have just one more unprovoked seizure, then it's likely that they'll continue for the rest of my life.
Epilepsy is a propensity to get seizures, or it means that you are a person who is at higher risk than other people of getting seizures, which in general are not desirable things to have. But you have to show that there's a pattern, a predisposition. And one seizure doesn't really make a pattern or a predisposition.
I just had one freak seizure. How could I possibly have epilepsy? It's probably just lack of sleep or stress. I won't have another one. I know my body. I have my Star Trek body scans. I'm healthy. I'm a runner. Because if I really had epilepsy, I would have sensed something wrong, right? When Dr. Youngling discharges me, I do the one thing that makes me feel control over my body. I run. 1 mile. I never felt anything abnormal. 2 miles. How could I have missed something this big? 10 miles. It was just one seizure. And I keep on running. As I finish my run, I push the seizure to the back of my mind and I focus on my goal, the New York City Marathon. I brush up on my training plan, and before I know it, it's October. I've got a date lined up with a cute girl I've been texting, and I'm diving into a new film project. The marathon is just 1 month away. Things are looking good. One morning, I'm staying at a friend's house when she wakes up to a loud thump. She comes to check in on me. I'm not in the bed. I'm sprawled on the floor, my eyes open, glossed over, and I gaze ahead like a corpse. The horses are back in charge. Am I awake? I'm in the future, but when?
I feel it's a corridor, a bed, one in blue, needle, I think a hospital.
After I gain consciousness, put my hand on my mouth. My tongue is all torn up.
Ugh, I'm not going to be able to run for a while. Will I still be able to run the marathon?
I call my parents.
Spoke to the neurologist. It's kind of hard to talk because I bit my tongue a lot.
I know, honey, I'm sorry. This is really a life-changing thing for you.
I was almost free.
It was official. I had epilepsy.
It's so scary.
I know. I'm really been scared for you. And just thinking, what does that mean for you?
My parents were scared because they had just seen what happened to Brandon. Brandon and his parents are close family friends. His dad, Peter, works at the church in Tacoma, and his mom, Julie, is the director of the Christmas musical. They all do Bible study together. And low-key, Brandon was brilliant. Julie quizzed him all the time.
You could say 762 times 894. And he would, within seconds, he would go, blah, 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 blah. He'd tell you the answer. And I'd get my calculator out and go, oh, you're right.
But ever since he was a baby, Brandon had epilepsy.
It started at the end of his 9th month. That was his first seizure. It was a febrile seizure.
And the seizures kept happening. He spent his 17th birthday in the hospital.
He thought that was going to be his miracle, to have the brain surgery.
But by the end of the month, Brandon had another seizure.
Brandon did kind of go through a little bit of, it didn't work. And then he rose up again and kept going.
By his late teens, the seizures got worse. One time, my dad came over for their usual Bible study, and he recalls Brandon going upstairs to take a shower.
And then we heard a thud.
So they go check on him.
And he's fallen in the shower, and he had a seizure, and he was not responsive at that point. And started CPR on him and continued on CPR, and the medics came, but he didn't make it. He was dead.
The following week, hundreds of people came to his memorial at the church. With epilepsy, there's just so many whys. Why does it develop? Why is it managed for some people but not for others? Why isn't there a cure? And why do some people suddenly die? Dr. Youngling tells me no one knows why some seizures are fatal, but every year more than 1 in 1,000 people with epilepsy die without warning. It's called SUDEP, sudden unexpected death in epilepsy.
So it's uncommon, but needs to be talked about The more seizures you have, the more likely you are going to have a suit-up event. But it's happened to folks who were relatively well controlled.
Brandon was, at the time, the only person I knew who had epilepsy. But one day, he walked into the shower and then never walked out. I can't even tell myself that being athletic is going to save me. I know what happened to Florence Griffith Joyner, a.k.a. FloJo.
We are standing by for the 100-meter dash for the women. Lane 1 is open, and quickly, Florence Griffith Joyner blowing away the field.
Cannot be. No one can run that fast. They are announcing world record, the biggest accomplishment in track and field in 10 years. If this is a world record in the
FloJo was the fastest woman ever recorded on planet Earth. FloJo's 100 and 200 meter world records from over 30 years ago still stand today. But in 1996, she had a seizure while on a flight, and just 2 years later, she went to sleep one night and never woke up.
Medical examiners in California today announced the cause of death of Olympic gold medal sprinter Florence Griffith Joyner. They said she suffocated during an epileptic seizure while she was sleeping.
Epilepsy killed the world's fastest woman. I knew I could die, or would die one day, but it always felt so theoretical. Now, with the stampede inside of me, every minute I'm thinking,
could this be my minute?
I try closing my eyes, listening to my body like I would during a run. Can I hear anything? But this time, my body is eerily silent. My life is so different now. I can't drive.
I'm not invincible.
I shouldn't drink.
I need to be cautious.
Shouldn't sleep late.
Who am I?
Or even take a long soak in the tub.
I should push myself.
From the outside, I seem okay, which is why epilepsy is called an invisible disability. But on the inside, I am not okay. At any minute, my brain could burst with uncontrolled electricity, flooding my nervous system and plunging me into another stampede. I think again to the philosopher René Descartes. He believed the mind or the soul was located in the brain, and it was connected to the body through the nervous system, and it was filled with animal spirits. It used those spirits to control the body, rippling through the nerves and into the flesh. Right now, my mind feels so disconnected from my body. And the only way I know how to rebuild that connection is to run. And thank God I can still do that.
I knew that you were a runner before we even met. It was on your dating app. It's probably one of the first things that I learned about you.
After my second seizure, I almost canceled my date with Marielle, that cute girl that I'd been texting. But I didn't do it. On our first date, I bring her an offering from my roommate's pet chicken, Crooks.
We met up and you brought me a gift. And I was like, oh, I wonder what she got me. So I open it and there's 2 fresh eggs in there.
6 hours later, we can't stop talking. So she walks me across the bridge from Manhattan back to Brooklyn. While she isn't really a runner, she is an athlete and played professional basketball back in Lebanon, where she grew up. Marielle is the kind of person who has the same t-shirt in 3 different colors. We bond over exercise, sci-fi, the theater, our Lebanese roots, and our love for the sea. I tease her that I'm taller, even though it's only a 3/4 of an inch. She laughs at all my jokes, even the bad ones, which is lucky for me because her smile scrambles my insides more than Crook's eggs for breakfast. Things are easy. I feel safe.
Go Oh, happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday to you.
All right, yalla. Can you do it? Wish something. What did you wish for?
Machassik. It's a wish, Habibi. I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay. Ever since my diagnosis, some days are normal. I get my $1 bun from the Chinese bakery around the corner, push buttons on a keyboard, and then run my errands. And so far, the meds I've been prescribed have been keeping those big seizures at bay. But on other days...
Are you feeling better?
It's better when I close my eyes.
Okay, keep them closed.
More than likely, this is an aura. Auras are seizures that only involve a small part of the brain. I'm conscious, but it's hard to talk or move or even open my eyes. On days that I get them, I can't even do simple things like read a book or scroll on my phone. I definitely can't run. But I'm not ready to give up on the marathon just yet. Because some days are good. And on one of those days, Marielle and I head uptown to get some fresh air.
We went for a run. I think it was in Cortlandt Park, no?
Van Cortlandt Park. It's freeing to finally get out of the house. The buds on the trees are just starting to peek out as my legs shake off the spirits of yesterday. I can feel that crisp air in my lungs, and I take an occasional sprint, and then I loop back to Marielle, who's been walking behind me. She places her warm hand in my pocket. After covering some ground, we feel refreshed. We get back on the subway.
We were coming on the train, and we were sitting by the door of the subway. And you started... I don't know what started happening. You were like, I need to get off this train. And then you couldn't even talk anymore. Suddenly you couldn't really move or walk. And you're having like some sort of seizure.
The train was jam-packed as we pulled into the Times Square subway stop, and Marielle struggled to get me off the train.
You fell on the floor as soon as we got out of the train on the subway platform. You fell on the floor. I don't know, it happened so fast, right?
After we get out of the train, Marielle is trying to hold me up on the platform. A kind woman helps us out as we climb the stairs out of the subway. The emergency room. Once again. Except for this time, with me is someone very special.
You had to go to the bathroom.
I did?
I think they brought you something, remember? Because they couldn't let you until they had like done their tests or...
They brought me a bedpan. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Even after witnessing me pee in a pan, Marielle sticks around. She cuddles next to me in the cot. It's better with her here.
But yeah, I like to sometimes not fun to look at you. Because you're cute. So I just like squint a little bit just to see a picture of you.
And then you tell me.
So the picture of you kind of staying the back of my eyelids.
And then you go like, you're so cute.
Yeah.
The beeps of my vitals lull us to sleep that night. And then another night. And another. And another. It's been a full week at this point. My legs burn to run, but the EEG leash tethers me to a 4-foot radius around the bed. And then a camera follows my every move, watching for a seizure. I'm getting antsy, but all the doctors can do right now is prescribe me another medication and tell me to wait. And then they tell me, until we figure it out,
I should push myself.
It's best not to be alone.
I am not invincible.
That includes running.
Who am I?
I can hear Descartes' raging animal spirits inside of me, kicking up dust. Descartes says these spirits connect our mind and our body, but mine have gone feral. Whenever the seizures erupt, I feel those unruly horses inside of me, rebelling, breaking free and stampeding out of control. I can hear them taunting me now, ready to charge. I need to tame them, to beat them, to outrun them, to prove I am in control. I need to do something so big, so bold, to defy these horses and defy this epilepsy. Running has always made me feel whole, like I truly know myself, inside and out. What if I could harness that power, push it to the extreme to prove that I do have control over my body? Would it work? Would I feel like me again? I think back to that chapter in Born to Run, about just how much stamina human runners can have. So much that over long distances, we're stronger than horses. The idea had struck me as absurd, but no more absurd than this past year. So what if I tried to do it? What if I tried to race a horse? On the next episode of Girl v. Horse, I get to know my competition.
Well, first of all, the whole idea of a race between humans and horses is pretty preposterous.
If you're with someone having a tonic-clonic seizure, like I did with my mom, here's what you need to do. Stay with the person and remove any sharp objects near them. Ease them to the floor and roll them over to their side immediately to help them breathe. Put something soft underneath their head to protect it and loosen any tight clothing. If the seizure lasts more than 5 minutes, or if it's their first time having one, call 911 immediately. Try to time the seizure if you can and stay with them until they're fully recovered. If you want to learn more about epilepsy and seizure first aid, we've linked to some trusted websites in the show notes. Girl v. Horse was created, hosted, and executive produced by me, Nicole Teeny. Our story editor was Jasmine J.T. Green, with additional editing by Audrey Quinn. Mariah Dennis was our associate producer. Sound design and mixing by Michelle Macklem. Original music and theme song composed by Morgan Kibbe. The Mysterious Horse was brought to life by Summer Banks. Our production assistant was Marielle Sarkis. For 30 for 30 podcasts and ESPN, Adiza Egan was our lead producer. Senior editorial producer was Preeti Varathan. Line producer was Catherine Sankey. Associate producer was Gus Navarro.